In Chovos halevovos, third treatise, which is the gate 3 out of the 10 gates, and the book is these 10 treatises by Rabbeinu bacheya ibn pekuda. So, since the Torah consists of words and matters, individuals in respect to their understanding and its wisdom fall into 10 graded classes. 1. The beginner's class. This consists of those who consists of those who learn Torah, the 5 books of Moshe, the rest of the scriptures, and feel satisfied with that, but don't understand the content or know the meaning, the grammar, or the language. This is like a donkey laden with books, is how he puts it, quote unquote. The second class is those who have tried to learn to read properly, pay heed to the vowels, and especially concentrate their attention on the right position of the accents, which is called and that includes punctuation and the Masorah. The Masorah is like the tradition of how to enunciate and accentuate. Third class are those who strive to know the principles of punctuation and the musical accentuation, which is the neginos, and they have in addition sought to acquire knowledge of the correct use of the language, its grammar, nouns and verbs, modifying parts of speech, which includes prepositions, conjunctions, and adverbs, the absolute and construct forms, which is nouns and adjectives, and the use of the future to express the past, and the use of the infinitive to express the imperative, and the various classes of verbs, which are complete, all 3 letters sounded, defective, 1 letter is omitted, silent, 1 or 2 letters are not sounded, and duplicate verbs with the 2nd and 3rd letter are the same. The apparent and the hidden, which is the closed and the open syllables, the former ending in a consonant, the latter as a vowel sound. The 4th class is individuals, and remember this is a code, so they're really learning to understand the code of the Torah. The 4th class is individuals who have gone beyond in their understanding of the plain sense of the text, as well as inability to explain the words of doubtful meaning in the Holy Scriptures, and they've investigated the figurative, literal meanings of words in the Hebrew language, the homonyms and synonyms, the derivative nouns, the primary nouns, the foreign nouns, and so on with the verbs and the adjectives. The 5th class, advanced beyond in their knowledge of the Holy Scriptures' subject matter, have sought to understand its fundamental principles and have endeavored to investigate the metaphorical sense and true meaning of its contents, with regard, for instance, to the anthropomorphic biblical expressions. They are those who attempt to explain the godly scriptures in the plain meaning without the oral Torahs, which is the oral Torah, which is the received tradition. We then have the 6th class, which are those who rely on the ancient tradition as per the Mishnah, and so Mishnah is from the oral Torah. So they've attained knowledge of some of the duties, commandments, and laws of the Torah without studying the Talmud. 7. The 7th class are those who add intense study of the Talmud to all the above and devote themselves to its text's knowledge, but without attempting to answer its questions and clear up its difficulties. The 8th class is those who exact themselves to comprehend the words of the Talmudic sages, resolve the doubtful points, and elucidate the obscurities with the purpose of winning a name and glory, ignoring the duties of the heart, and paying no attention to what would be detrimental to their religious and moral activities, and they spend their days in the study of singular deductions from the legal principles and of what is strange or difficult in the final decisions. They cite the conflicting views of the Talmudic authorities on novel points of law, while they neglect topics which they have no permission to do so, topics that affect their spiritual interests, which it is their duty to investigate, such as the truth of the prophets' signs and the tradition, and the modes by which it can be demonstrated, the obligation which the Creator has imposed upon us to bring proofs with our reasoning faculties of His existence, and to serve Him with a perfect heart, and many similar points which can intellectually be understood and further explained. The 9th class is those who have exerted themselves to know the duties of the heart as well as the active duties, and also what's detrimental to right conduct, and understand the plain sense of the Holy Scriptures as well as their inner meaning, and have arrived at a conviction of truth, of tradition, based on the Scripture and reason. They have arranged the laws into an orderly system, and divided the practical duties in accordance with circumstances of time and place as a result of their understanding of the fundamental principles of the Chumash, which is the 5 books of Moses, scrupulously observe the duties and exhort others to and cherish truth inwardly and outwardly and follow it wherever it may lead them. They're like the Talmudic teachers and Gaonim who continued their predecessors' customs, And the 10th class is those who receive the wisdom of the Torah from the prophets with all its interpretations and detailed results of fundamental principles, i.e. the men of the great assembly. We call them the Sanhedrin, their successors, and those that came before them in the line of tradition since Moses, the authorities named in the Mishnah and bereishis, which are the additional teachings and views not incorporated in the Mishnah, as set forth in the pekuda, the ethics of the fathers, with the last being Rabbi Judah the Prince, who gathered together the dicta of the Mishnah, arranged them in order, divided them into chapters, and compiled them into a work. This compilation is the essential element of the whole tradition on which we rely on in Torah, which is the oral Torah. The Baal hafla'ah. Now we're going to move on to the Baal hafla'ah. We have two more sources, I believe. We have the Baal hafla'ah on Genesis, bereishis, which is Genesis, bereishis 27, chapter 27, verses 44 and 45. And you shall stay with him a short time until your brother's fury turns away, until your brother's anger turns away. Rebekah advised her son Jacob what to do. Run away to my brother Lavan. Wait till your brother gets over his anger. How will you know when that time has come and he's no longer angry at you? When you yourself stop holding a grudge against him. Rivka understood the reciprocity of human emotions, that love is reciprocated with love, and hatred elicits a like response in others. Actually, I think we have a few more sources. So first of all, I want to share from the Tanya, which is written by the Alter Rebbe. The Alter Rebbe is Rabbi Shneer, Zalman of Liadi, the first Lubavitcher rebbe of the 6 Chabad rebbes. And this is from the section called Likutei Amarim, and it's the end of chapter 6. He says that the Alter Rebbe and the Rebbe's note, the Lubavitcher Rebbe's note on it. The garments of the divine soul are a higher spiritual level than the soul itself, and they elevate it, and that the animal soul is structured as a mirror image of the divine soul. It follows that the soul's garments are on an even lower level than the animal soul itself, and that they degrade it. The garments are the thought, speech, and action. Klipas nega is a neutral shell, versus the sitra achra klipa is like a negative shell. It's like something that's actually a waste, a husk. It's something that harms, causes damage. It cannot be elevated. You can't bring out the best in it. I want to share for me the catch-22 about having children. So a few things coming up. There's 3 more things here. One is from ACA. I want to first share from ACA before we go into the having children. So ACA is adult children of alcoholics. It's also for adult children of dysfunctional families. So they talk about physical sensations. A lot of us have not been embodied growing up because we were so taught to just comply. We weren't taught to check in. We didn't have that resonance, that presence of others to feel like holistically available to the actual life that was happening in the moment. So it could be achy, could be bloated, breathless, bubbly, buzzy, clammy, clenched, cold, cool, congested, constricted, contracted, curled, damp, dry, dull, dizzy, empty, expansive. Then we have faint, floating, flowing, fluid, flushed, fluttery, fragile, frantic, frozen, full, fuzzy, glowing, heavy, heated, hollow, hot, itchy, jittery, jumpy, knotted, light, limber, and lumps. I think lumps, I can't tell, lamps. Moist, numb, open, paralyzed, pounding, pressure, prickly, puffy, pulsing, queasy, quivering, radiating, ragged, raw, restricted, and finally shaky, smooth, spacey, spacious, spinning, stiff, still, strong, suffocating, sweaty, tense, thick, thin, tight, tingly, trembly, throbbing, twitching, twitchy, vibrating, warm, and wobbly. Now, those might not sound good, but actually when we experience those emotions, we become more coherent with our attunement, which means that as emotions come and go, or as sensations come and go, we do not become as attached and as affected. We become with a greater capacity. So I want to talk about the catch-22 of having children, because thinking for myself now, if I would have children, could I provide them with an experience where I won't get so uncomfortable by their discomfort, or I won't get so uncomfortable by my discomfort? Could I show up? So one, I have to feel life is good enough and enjoyable enough, not just tolerable enough, and definitely not so difficult to endure that you need, for example, drugs, sex, alcohol, basically something that takes you out of that presence and makes your capacity, not like diminished rather than more capable. So in order to withstand, they shouldn't be necessary to withstand life, because you have to be able to enjoy life, and life's good enough to have kids, to bring them into this world with the integrity and proper intention, and to feel confident and healthy enough to be able to give them a good, enjoyable life. And then we have, on the other hand, knowing that I'll lose this life once I have kids, the life I have now, in order to give them a life, not knowing if that new life will be good and enjoyable enough. It will be much more sacrificing, caretaking, prioritizing, cooking, cleaning, and so on. And finally, I wanted to check in. It's about halfway through. It's a little past halfway through the year, but I wrote down at the beginning of the year, new kindnesses for 2025, the new year. Developing compassionate gaze, tolerant and willing to defend lovingly what's seen. So it's more of a benefit of the eye. Now I'll have to say that it could be the bad stuff is coming out first, but that's been something that I'm not necessarily so proud to say, that I'm not sure that I see everything, but I have been minding my own business more, and I think that has been helping. I can't say that I can do that all the time, but I'm working on it for sure. I see that there is some levels of progress where at least I could take accountability. Not letting myself get so needy and isolated. That's something that I feel I've been growing. And another area I've been progressing was recognizing humbly that there's much more than the created mind's eye, the third eye, can see. There could be blind spot, darkness, cloudiness, and that obviously relates a lot to trust, to patience, and I'm working on that too. Wish you all the best. Have a good day. Bye.